Hey guys, Matt here. Welcome back to another TikTok compilation, but this time, per your guys' feedback, I wanted to change it up a little bit to see if I could add a little more depth to some of the description and overview of these exercises so that it's just not as much information at once on the screen. So what I'm going to try to do today, and today's a wrist and hand compilation. So what we're going to be doing today is organizing the video so you can use these exercises for specific regions where you might be dealing with discomfort or pain. And there's going to be stretches, there's going to be self-massage, but primarily it's going to be the endurance-based exercises that are supposed to help you with long-term relief. So let's get to it. The first region we're going to be focusing on is the palm-sided wrist and forearm pain. Here are the exercises and stretches and things that you guys can do to help address that, and I'll explain a little bit as to why. Okay, so the very first exercise is the wrist flexion curl. And in this first video, I mentioned TNT, which is tendon neuroplastic training, and that allows us to better activate the muscles, but also helps specifically with tendon-related pain. So pain closer to the actual wrist here, and then also helping with the muscles along the actual forearm here. So this is helpful for you if you have pain or discomfort in those regions, performing it at 3 sets of 12, taking 3 seconds to go up and 3 seconds to go down. And this is something you can do every morning and every night, gradually building up your endurance so that you can handle however many hours of playing without discomfort. Okay, next up we have the isometric grip squeeze, which again helps with tendon related pain. And all you're going to be doing is holding a water bottle like this and squeezing and holding for a longer duration. If you are feeling pain in this region, you can actually hold it for 45 seconds, repeat that 5 times, and that can temporarily relieve some of your pain. But as a endurance-based or strength-based exercise, I would repeat it 12 to 15 times, holding each one for 5 seconds, and then adding that to the first exercise. Again, doing it in the morning and at nighttime, gradually building up your endurance. Alright, now that we have some key exercises for building up the strength and addressing the underlying issue of just weakness at your wrist and hand, now we can work on recovery-based things, so stretching and massage. So this very first video is myself performing some self-massage that you can use your armrest or your table, and just make sure that you're slowly and steadily applying pressure from your forearm all the way towards your wrist, stopping at any point where you feel like there might be some tenderness and just hanging out there until the muscle begins to relax. You can do this for a minute, you can do this for 30 seconds, and I would repeat that maybe 1 to 2 times in between your games. These next 2 exercise series are stretches you guys can do also in between your games, but also after your gaming session, because after we are gaming for a while, our muscles tend to stiffen up, and we want to alleviate that. We want to relieve some of that post-use stiffness by stretching. The first one is demonstrating individual finger stretches, while the second one is doing sort of a global both side and your thumb stretching. So select and choose which one is more relevant to you based on what you're doing. If you're a console player, hey, you might be using your thumb some more. If you have mouse spines on your thumb that you're using a lot, hey, the thumb one might be something that's more relevant to you. Holding each stretch for about 20 seconds for the second video, and then the first video, repeating the 5-second individual finger stretching 3 times and doing that in between your games and again afterwards. Let me know how you feel with those. Alright, the next series of exercises, of course, it's for the opposite side, the back of your wrist and extending down into your forearm, sometimes even helping with the back of your hand. So check these out. Alright, the first series of strengthening exercise videos are all going to feature the same type of movement, wrist extension. So wrists going up towards the ceiling with your palm facing down. And the first one's going to have no resistance. So you're just rolling your hands up towards the ceiling, repeating that between 15 to 25 times. And that's just depending on how strong or how much endurance you have in your forearms and if you've been regularly conditioning. If you're just starting, I would try to start at 15, and when that becomes more easy or more simple, then you can work up to 25. Then I demonstrate additional load, whether it be using a water bottle to add some load, filling it up with water, or if you have a dumbbell. Or as I show in one of the videos, you're going to be doing it with a tote bag and filling it up with weights or cans or whatever you want. You can even use a backpack to perform these wrist extensions. And when you are loading your wrist, you want to start at 10 to 12 repetitions and then gradually work up to 15 to 20. Again, always start at 10, and then as you build it up, work up to 20 repetitions, which you can gradually handle, and that will allow you to play more and hurt less. In this video, I also demonstrate towel external rotations, and you're also doing relative wrist extension, but you're also engaging your shoulder so that it actually helps with posture, but also how we are expected to move the mouse with both our wrist and our shoulder. So it's probably one of my favorite exercises to recommend. And then we move on to how we can use rubber bands to strengthen our forearms. So what's great about rubber bands is it gives us a lot of variability in how we can actually train our wrist extensors, these guys here. And in this first video, I demonstrate putting the rubber bands on your first two fingers because those are the ones that we use a lot when we are using our mouse. But you can, for your left hand, put it on your first three. And all you're doing is maintaining this position, preventing yourself from rotating inwards or pushing outwards and maintaining that, holding it for about 5 seconds or so. And then working that up for 3 sets of 15, building that endurance, that isometric and motor drive at these muscles and tendons here so that you can play for longer again with less pain. And for this next exercise, we focus on the ability to control or hold the mouse because we're using opposition. So you can wrap the rubber band around the base of the thumb and then wrap it behind your hand over towards the base of the first, or either your pinky or your ring finger, both of them, and then all you're doing is closing like that so that you're working on this opposition strength, and that allows you to, as you might see, hold your mouse or control it a little better. This next video goes through a post-gaming stretching routine that will address a lot of the stiffness that we expect in our wrist finger hands when we're moving the mouse, clicking and WASDing, or even with Animal Crossing using our thumbs. And it addresses many, if not all, potential pain patterns associated with repeated wrist and hand use. And all you have to do is just kind of run through this exercise. It addresses and stretches each region: the thumb, the back of the wrist, the front of the wrist, the forearms, the posterior forearms, and it's pretty useful for post-gaming to help with recovery, as I mentioned in the first or palmar aspect of this video. So let me know what you think. Hey guys, that is all for this wrist and hand compilation. I hope you guys like this more in-depth version where I sort of break down each of the videos. I can go into more depth if you guys want to, but I wanted to test this format out and get some feedback, so please let me know in the comments. Please share this if you guys feel like it's been helpful for you, and look out for more. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and tell me one thing you want to learn. I'll see you guys soon.